Okay, so cerulean blue, ultramarine violet, raw umber, and titanium buff. So we're not using raw umber right now, just keeping, I'm keeping it at this, on the side. I'm using cerulean blue, a bit of ultramarine violet to make my cerulean blue a bit darker. And then I'm adding titanium buff. I'll go to, this is mid-tone because we still have to highlight, but this is just mid-tone to put the colors, to color the chairs, to put some color on those chairs. And because eventually a lot of highlighting in certain areas and darkening as well. We will be darkening some colors. Just shaping the chairs right now. This chair is a bit higher over here in the center. Yeah, the chairs are looking much nicer with the color, of course. Right now, we're just filling. We will put the highlights and the darks later on. But for now, let's fill them. Usually I would be doing the floors, the ground first, and then the chairs, like we did with the background of the wall. But you know, it's such a small, such a straightforward painting. We don't need to worry about that. So this is closer. I was trying some colors this afternoon. And I think what we're doing right now are perfect colors. I like that the chairs are different. They're not exactly the same style of the chairs.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now all of the colors, the values are the same right now. They're all the same. So there's no light, dark, nothing. I'm just filling the wood part, and then I'll deal with the light and dark after. I just want to see them. And then we would work on highlighting and darkening some areas. I'm going to pause for a minute so we can catch up with this, and then we'll continue. Great. So let's block the table, put the first layer of color, and we're going to go mid-tone, kind of mid-tone. Yeah, mid-tone. So let's take titanium buff, add a bit of raw umber in it, tiny bit of ultramarine violet, and that will give us a nice dark mid-tone. This should go darker. Eventually, it dries darker. And then we will adjust the highlight and the darks.
Are you recording?
Yes, I am. Do you have questions? Do you have a question?
I'm behind. I didn't catch the colors.
Oh, that's okay. It's a titanium buff. I put a bit of raw umber in my titanium buff and ultramarine violet. A bit of both. And I'm going to come here and just keep where the shadow is. I'm not going to paint there. I'm not painting there. I'm just painting where the light is. This is very light, and I hope it's going to dry darker. Because I like to start with dark colors, but I think it should be okay. Oh, yeah. I take more of a little bit more of the raw umber and put some ultramarine violet in it with titanium buff. And I'm going to do the side, this part of the table that is the thickness of the table is darker. Now, I'm going to take more of the raw umber, more titanium, I'm sorry, put in my titanium buff, more raw umber, more of the ultramarine violet, and I'm going to come here and put, oh, actually, you know what? Let's put a bit of blue in there too, because there's a reflection of the blue, some blue in there. Yeah, that's good. Stick some more. I like this blue in here. That's cerulean blue. Now the same color, dark color, I'm gonna add the same color I'm using, the dark one. I'm gonna add more of the titanium buff in it with my brush. Okay. It's more like a taupe color. And I'm gonna come here and go darker. I'm gonna go darker. come here. Oh, that's good. And put the legs dark, because we can highlight the legs wherever we want to highlight them. So let's start with darks. Dark color. Okay. I will adjust the color of the wall around this, around the legs later on. I'll do some negative painting. So, go over this edge one more time.
Leo, what are you using for the legs?
The same. I increased the amount of I used titanium buff, raw umber, and ultramarine violet. But I put more ultramarine violet and raw umber in my titanium buff, so I made it darker. I just made my titanium buff darker. Is that your question? That was the question, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See how it goes? It dries darker with acrylics. So usually what I do is I adjust my shadows and lights. I wait for it to dry, and then I'll see if I need to adjust. So since we are working with this color for now, I'm just gonna put more of the titanium buff. And I did change the legs of the table. I made them smaller. So I really don't have a guideline of the highlights, proper one, because I changed the style. But I'm just gonna improvise and assume that it would be getting more highlights in here. So I'm not gonna highlight the whole table or legs of the table. I'm gonna highlight part of it only and leave the rest dark. See, in a minute, I'm going to show you the subtle kind of lights and darks in this reference. The
Is it
value.
possible you can zoom in?
Value.
Can you zoom in a little bit on the table?
Is that good?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the same colors I used for the chairs, but now I'm adding more slowly. I'm adding slowly more titanium buff because eventually I want to leave some room. I don't want to highlight it too much because I'm going to leave room for the strong highlight. So if I highlight it too much right now, I'm not going to have room for the strong highlights. So this is the one part. I highlighted this part. So I'm going to highlight the right here. It will dry darker. I know it's light right now, but it will dry darker. So I'm highlighting just the base because the thickness you need to leave some dark in here. Up, don't highlight the whole thing. You need to leave room for the thickness of the wood. Okay, now let's take.
Sorry, Leon, what are you using?
So I'm using the same colors I used for the chairs, the original color, which is cerulean blue, ultramarine violet, and titanium buff, but I'm adding more titanium buff now. More titanium buff than before. So I'm just increasing the amount of titanium buff slowly. So this way, I have room for the strong highlight that's coming up here. See, there's like kind of a whitish color. You know, those chairs are still in the shaded area. So they shouldn't be highlighted too much right now. And I usually adjust my highlights and I compare colors, I compare the value and see if I need to go darker or lighter. And so I highlight slowly. That's what I do. I'm very cautious. Okay. Let's put, let's say this part here is lighter. Half of this leg is lighter. Okay. Yeah. The lower part of the half of it, half of the, what is it called? Bracket? Spindle? No, what is it? What is this part? That holds the chair? Those wooden pieces that hold the legs. Anyway, whatever it is. All right, let's go here. And now I'm just following what I'm seeing in the reference. The legs inside, I'm going to keep them dark. I'm not going to highlight them. Now let's highlight top of the chair. here. I don't want to highlight it too much. I'm hoping that this is going to dry darker. And it is drying darker, so it's good. Now, let's take more titanium buff, put it in, blue mixture. And here. Too light. Hopefully it will dry darker. I'm increasing a bit the amount of titanium buff. Eventually I'm going to be putting white, so I'm going to add white for the really highlighted area, like the really one that has a lot of sun. And you'll see in a minute where it's going to be. Right. I'm going to bring some white now because we need that. Let's add white to the same mixture. So, okay. And let's try to do this now. A little bit more white. It's very hard to darken the color once you put white, but it's easy to highlight. It's easier to highlight and to make your color darker. All right.
Already, did you add the white?
Yeah, a little bit. I added white for the back here and here, those two, but they turned out to be a little bit too strong, too white here, those on the legs. So I toned them down with the titanium buff blue and ultramarine. So now I'm going to go back and add more white and blue, of course. I'm not putting white only. I'm just adding more white and highlight this a little bit more. I usually try to go from medium to light slowly. So not just put light first and then go back to medium. So this way I know how much highlights I should be putting. This is a kind of an easy one right here. I like the titanium buff in the highlights that we're putting before putting the white. When I want to highlight slowly, I like the titanium buff because it gives it a bit of a earthy tone to the chair. The chairs have a bit of that yellowy blue. It's a blue, but it has yellow in it. And titanium buff gives me that. Oh, I have to be careful here. It's very strange how the color or the value changes from here. So you look at this, Look at this. This is dark right there. It's the same value, but it looks lighter here because this
Yeah,
is
it does.
it's the same value. It is not changed. Very interesting. Light and dark, shade, shadow and light in this. So now I'm going to go down. Now let's highlight a little bit more with white. Highlight this. Again. Slowly, I'm doing this slowly. I know I'm going to go lighter, but I prefer to do it slowly. Now I'm going to put more white. So I can have a stronger blue in here. It's like almost a white blue. Adjust my values. A little bit lighter. I can go lighter. Yeah, it's good. It's gonna dry darker anyway. strong highlight down where the bracket is. It's not a bracket. I don't know what it's called. You know what I mean? It's right there. Oh, I'm always worried. I'm always scared of strong highlights. I don't know what's happening down here, but I'm just gonna improvise. I love this. This is so much fun.
Yeah. Details.
I know, it's just I love sunny parts. They transform the whole painting into something very interesting. All right. I think we would need, we're gonna need eventually a little bit more white in here, more a bit of whitish titanium buff and white. Just a bit. Let's see. I changed my brush. Oh dear. A little bit more titanium buff. I'm gonna change to titanium buff here. Actually, I'm gonna change my brush. Just titanium buff. No white.
What did you put on the top?
I just put a bit of titanium buff and white, but
Oh.
most of the titanium buff and white are in this area here. And when I got to this point right there, I just used titanium buff only.
Okay.
You know, in Greece, it's all about, and you know that more than anybody else, and you, Acero, too, because you come from the same area. It's the strong light that's beautiful, the strong sun.
Yes.
Okay, I would highlight the chairs a little bit more, maybe, but we'll wait. We'll put the wicker on top, and we'll do the ground next week. I'll send you. We need to put a bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit more lighter.
The chairs, maybe, yeah, maybe. I can't tell right now because there's nothing underneath. I can't tell how light I should go until I put the floors, the ground, until we
Yes, yes.
cover the ground. Then we'll know.
Okay.
Ta-da! It's not the whole thing, but it's fine.
Thank you, Leon.
Thank you for reminding me.
And thank you for the tips on doing the hands.
Oh, you're welcome.